Thank you for watching BlaXit. Please subscribe to our channel BlaXit, smash that like button and share everywhere.
And now we're going to head right on to our social issues segment.
Absolutely, yeah. And Jenaba, today it's going to be very, very interesting in the studio because we have the BlaXit people.
Yeah.
And if you've been following their activities, they've been doing a lot in this country.
Sure.
And of course, the automatic citizenship too.
Yeah.
So we'll be discussing a lot of things on this platform. You are welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
All right.
Subasagi.
Fine. So before we go into the automatic citizenship or go into the conversation in depth, let's just focus on Gambia for a start. I just want to understand why Gambia. You know, how did you get that instant connection with the Gambia to feel that Gambia is home and here is where you need to be? How did that come about?
Well, I'll start then, and then Adrian will go, because we have different reasons.
Okay.
For me, there was a family connection through my grandmother. So that's ancestral. And so my grandmother told us all we came from a place called Gambia. And so I couldn't find Gambia. And when we came in 2011, I think it was on the second visit, wasn't it? On the second visit, we was at a taxi stand.
Yeah.
And there was a man who looked exactly like my grandma, like my grandma's family, like my grandma's brother. So I asked him, and I said to him, it's weird because my grandmother told me that I'm from a place called Cambia, not Gambia, but I haven't been able to find it. And he said, no, I'm Mandinka. And so we pronounce it Cambia and not Gambia. It's slightly different in pronunciation. So you're home. I got the shock of my life. The shock of my life.
Oh, wow.
It was like you could have thrown me down. Like it was like everything just hit me because the first time I came here, it just felt right. I don't. It's like a key. You put the key in a lock and it turns. All this time you've been going to different places. I've been to like 28 different countries, and the key didn't fit.
Okay.
But when I came here, it's almost as though there was a connection through. I don't know, previous, I don't know, but it was just everything, my all, my everything. The people, the culture, everything just felt exactly right. Exactly right. And it's perfect. I mean, I love Gambia, so.
All right. I can see that. And I love the attire.
Oh, thank
so
you.
what's your experience?
Yeah, when we met in 2010, we traveled to Egypt. That was our first holiday. And then after that, we went to Corfu, I think. And I said, where are we going on European holidays? We haven't tried West Africa. You know, and I used to remember listening to a radio program in England where they used to have our people coming back for the Homecoming Roots Festival.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone was speaking about their experience. So I said to my wife, you know what, let's try a West African holiday. And the first one that came up was Gambia.
Okay.
You know, we didn't know what to expect. We never had no family here, no friends here, and we said, okay, we're gonna make the trip. So we came. That was in November, and the welcoming alone. You know, as soon as we approached.
The smiles.
Yes. Yeah. And also they actually tell you, welcome home.
Yes.
You know, they say it doesn't matter where you're coming from, you're now home. Welcome to your ancestral land. You know, and it was so welcoming.
Yeah.
You know, even my wife, she cried.
Yeah.
You know, because
really?
I was born in the Caribbean.
Okay.
I was born on the island of Montserrat. And sometimes when you do go back to the Caribbean, you don't get that welcoming. I'm going to be honest.
Well, Gambia, we are called the smiling coast because we have that is part of us, you understand? So we are known to be very friendly people. But all that I want to know is, why Gambia, why Africa, leaving all the best healthcare system behind, you know, best services behind, but you want to come back to Africa? Why?
Okay, and to further connect the next question that I have with that question, it's a bit similar. I watched an interview that you did, and I know you worked 3 jobs, and you sold your home in the UK to be here.
That's right.
So how bad is the racism in the UK? Just to connect it with what he's trying to put across.
Yeah, well, firstly, I want to connect with you.
Yeah.
You have the herbs. You have the natural herbs here. You have the best healthcare.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. All pharmaceuticals come from herbs. And so you still have the natural herbs. And not only that, you still have the natural practitioners. And we mustn't forget them. We must not forget the traditional practitioners, herbologists, naturopaths. You have it. Look at some of the cures that are coming up for some current issues that we're having. They're coming from natural herbs, whether it's from Mauritania or it's coming from Mauritius. Look at all the natural herbs that are coming from. Look at where they're coming from. So I just want to say that Africa has the solutions. What we don't do is actually sometimes capitalize on those things, and we must. I think it's important. Yeah. Secondly, the racism is abysmal. It's awful. It's the worst. It is absolute. I mean, I watched a situation just recently where Dawn Butler, an MP in the UK, was ordered to leave the House in Parliament, the House of Commons. She was there, and for what she said. And I've seen other MPs do similar things and not have the same treatment. I've seen her stopped and searched by the police, and I've seen the way in which, and we've lived there. And the racism that my children faced, I faced, it's unbearable. You cannot live there. You need to be among your own people. And at the end of the day, yes, there's challenges everywhere you live, but I wouldn't swap a 5-bedroom, beautiful house, my Range Rover, my Mercedes convertible, that I sold to come here to be anywhere else, because just being here alone, it gives you a sense of freedom, a sense of connectivity, a sense of life that you just cannot have it when you live in a place where you know you're hated. You're absolutely hated and you're not wanted. You're just needed to make their tax burden lighter. You're just needed in order to be a modern day slave. And that is the truth, because all you're doing is working to pay taxes morning, noon, and night, and you're not appreciated. And at any opportunity, you're made and you're shown that you have no influence, no power, and you are definitely just another number.
Yes. Okay. We understand that you met the president, and there was a discussion. So, how important it is to you to meet President Adama Barrow, and can you share some of your discussions if possible?
You know what, that was a beautiful day when we met His Excellency. You know, I mean, we had a warm welcome. And he said some words that would stay with us for the rest of our life. Like, for instance, he said to us, no matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man,
you're an African.
Yeah. So he actually quoted Peter Tosh, you know, one of our great reggae artists that may his soul rest in peace.
Where's the technical department? They should have played that song for us.
It doesn't matter where you come from. You are an African.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That was so encouraging. And he also said to us, no one can take your Africanness away from you. No one can. You're Africans. It doesn't matter where you were born. You're an African.
I heard the president quoting that song. I mean, you know.
Yes.
President
that was interesting.
President Barrow was singing that song.
Okay.
He himself also live in England.
Oh yeah, so he knows.
He would have understand where we're coming from.
All right.
Racism.
Okay.
But I just want to quickly come back to the health care. One of the most important things for your health is happiness. Being comfortable in the environment.
Mental health.
That way you live. You know, and you know when you're happy, you hardly will get ailments like sickness. You're happy. You're in a happy environment. In England, you work sometimes in a very stressful environment.
Sure.
And just the stress alone could bring different sickness onto you. But when you're happy, you know, when you eat healthy, because the food is a lot more healthy, you know, and the air is fresh. Everything, the scenery, being among your people, you know, nothing could take that away, you know?
All right.
So that's happiness.
Okay. So now let's talk about action. I know you met the president and he gave you nice words, gave you encouragement, and spoke to you about the fact that as long as you're black, you're part of Gambia. So what promises did he make in relation to making sure you get the actual citizenship?
So what we did was we discussed the 2-year program.
Okay.
That is very important, because I want to just unpack automatic citizenship so people understand it. The automatic bit relates to us being seen as automatically African.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's an identity crisis that is ensuing at the moment. People, even being here, people don't even know what I am. And so there needs to be a desensitization. That's why we need to be automatically seen as African. In line with the AU and ECOWAS and everything else, there needs to be that universal understanding that because we weren't born in Africa, Africa is still born in us. And that needs to be said over and over again. So we need to be automatically seen as African. So far as the citizenship side of things is concerned, what we've asked for is for a program to be put in place for us. Because us as African descendants coming from the diaspora, we need to integrate, assimilate, we need to be reinitiated back as Africans. Because obviously we're not coming from that background. We're coming from a background where our ancestors were enslaved. And people need to remember that, because it's almost like we've been written out of history, written out of the Constitution, written out of people's memories, written out of people's lives. So when we're coming back, they're like, who are you? What are you? Why are you even here? Everybody's fighting to leave Africa and you're fighting to come back. Why? And so they're not understanding the matrix of the complexity of the issues that are contained within racism, including discrimination, lack of job opportunities, you're first in, first out. You know, also you're targeted by the police, you're handled in a terrible way, and your children face a terrible racism, and so it affects their mental health, because when you're constantly being shown that you're less than somebody else, it affects you. So I think that with regard to that, he understood that. And this is something that we're looking into, is the process. And that has to be dealt with not only by the president, but also by the National Assembly members. So we had a symposium, a transatlantic slavery symposium, which was attended by 28 National Assembly members. And this was groundbreaking in the sense that we were able to come to an understanding where, if you like, the gap was closed. And they understand we are you and you are us. It's just that we came through a different journey. And also that there needs to be remembrance. And you had the Kunte Kinte Day recently, and we had Honourable Suleiman Saho and Honourable Sekou Marong also pushing for that to be a national public holiday in remembrance of Kunte Kinte, because you have a national hero, and Kunte Kinte's story is that of our ancestors' story, and we mustn't be forgotten. It needs to be in the school syllabus here. It needs to be in SSC books. It needs to be in the history syllabus as well. So these are important factors. It's not just about us coming home, but us being remembered and as for who we are, and that we are the descendants of Gambians. We are the descendants of Africans. We are the descendants of the enslaved who were taken forcibly against their will. And that enslavement hasn't ended. That's why you have modern slavery today.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
We understand that you visited Nemakunku.
Yes.
Let's talk about that visit.
We're playing tag toe.
Tell us about the Nemakunku visit. Why Nemakunku?
Well, Keba is a good friend of ours, and he lived in Nemakunku. So last year with a heavy flooding, you know, he reached out to us and he said to us that his house been flooded, his furniture destroyed.
Okay.
And at the same time, I went online. And when we saw the devastation, I said to my wife, now, we have to do something to help. You know, we have to reach out to our community here, because we have an organization here called Council of African Descendants. So straight away I start making phone calls and said, listen, we have to go into the village. You know, there's been loss of life, you know. And we said, we're coming back home, and we should be able to be part of what's going on. So we went there. I made a few phone calls. I spoke to the Honorable Abdullah Sise, the MP for the region. I called him. I said to him, we're going to be going to Nemakunku just to find out more how we could give our support. And he came with us that day, you know, and they had a meeting. We sat there. We look at the most emergency needs that they need. And we got them how many bags of rice?
32.
32 bags of rice. You know, and then we start raising funds towards different development in the area. You know, and it's an ongoing program. And we also, they just construct a new road. Because one of the ladies, she died in childbirth. Yeah, because she couldn't get to the hospital on time. So they pinpoint that this road would be the best for them to concrete. So we reached out to a few of our subscribers. And also we had Pastor Ilan and his wife, Tanny Sylvester. They were here at the time, and I took them along with me to a meeting.
All right.
And they promised that when they go back to America, through their church, they would raise funds to help construct the road. And they have done so. I think in total, they have donated over $200,000. Dollars.
Okay.
Just
all right.
to construct that road.
That's a good one.
You know?
Yeah, I've been following your some of the activities you're doing, constructing boreholes and all of that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for what you do. So let's make this conversation a little bit fun before we leave, because
Come on, girl.
Yeah, because we have a few minutes to go. What's your favorite African food, Gambian food?
Super Kandra.
Super kanja. What about you?
Benachin.
Benachin? Okay, why Benachin? Why super kanja?
I love okra.
Oh, you love okra?
Yes.
Okay.
So super kandra, the texture. I like it with fufu as well.
You like it with fufu? Okay.
Oh.
Why Benachin? Is it because it's popular?
Yeah, and no, I just like Benachin. I like the taste of it,
Okay.
you know.
So Benachin is wala Benachin in dawal banga bugayo?
Bango the pollo. Malo.
Meat or fish?
Yapa.
Yaba.
Fish.
Okay.
Yapa or
Only
yen.
fish.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate your time here, and we will follow developments as you seek this automatic citizenship. We wish you good luck, and hopefully, if you achieve this, then we will achieve this collectively. Like the president said, as long as you're black, as long as you're African, you're Gambian. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
All
Thank
right.
you for having us on.
All right. Thank you.
One nation, one Africa. Thank you, BlaXit family. Please keep watching. Remember, follow your dreams.
Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.